So I'm in Russell Henley's press conference this morning. I'm actually kind of jazzed to ask him because he got photographed. He had two drivers in the bag yesterday. And then I also was like, and you also, there's a one iron in your bag. And he goes, I don't know, a one iron? And I'm like, yeah, according to the photos, there's a one iron in your bag on the range yesterday. And he's like, I don't have a one iron in my bag, man. And this is in front of like a room,
Yeah,
and David Dusek is sitting in the chair next to me, like looking at me like, oh, that's like for
yeah,
you,
gotcha.
And
Yeah,
he,
rookie,
like him and
yeah.
I, we laughed about it. But so turns out that the photo was a photo of a dirty four iron where the four part, like the triangle part, was like covered up. So it looked like a one iron. So I go out to the green and I go, Greg, what the hell, man? I was like, you're not queening clubs before we're taking pictures? I swear to you, Johnny, I have witnesses of this. He goes, I did that on purpose, Jake. He goes, I thought that people in the forums were going to start freaking out that Russell Henley had a one iron in his bag. And here you go, ask him about it in the press conference. He's like, check the forums later today. I bet you're in that column. And I'm like, God bless it, Greg. Like, are you kidding me? And he's like, Jake, honestly, buddy, he's like, you couldn't have scripted that up better for me. And I was like, well, you're welcome, Greg. Like,
the jokes are right. The jokes are writing themselves.
I mean,
it's a nice hat.
yeah, that's a cool one.
Let me hold on. That's a nice
Warner
piece. Did you
Palmer?
get that today?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she gave it to me.
What a way to kick off the show, episode 3 Deuce Trey of the Fully Equipped podcast. More Arnold Palmer swag for the video people to look at. Like Jake's just bearing swag. We were both in Orlando, separate hotels. I don't know why you guys decided to stay at the Residence Inn. It makes no sense to me. The hotel I'm staying is way nicer.
No, your hotel is dumb.
No, this hotel is actually pretty nice. Anyway, I just got here. You've been here Monday. You were here Monday, Tuesday? You're here first 2 days of the week?
Yeah. Yeah, I was in Tampa on Sunday. Played a little golf at Feather Sound, which if people don't know Feather Sound, that's the place that they had the Champions Tour Not a Ryder Cup at. That place is nice. It's great.
Okay. I want to get into your round here a little bit because you went out and played again with a bunch of your clubs. We got Battle of the Beach. We're not going to talk about your performance. Like it was a recon mission on the clubs. It's not like you're going out there trying to shoot 60.
That's true. That's true.
Okay, so we're going to get to that, but I want to, since you're on site Monday, Tuesday, tell us a little bit about what you were doing out of Bay Hill.
Yeah. So yesterday, I was there so long today. I can't remember the break period that I had.
What were you? Yeah, I want to know what you're doing all day.
Yeah. Okay, boss. Hold on. I'll tell you. Okay. So yesterday I got on site at like probably like 1 o'clock-ish, and I was there until 7, I think. Was doing some stuff on the putting green in the range, just like kind of keeping an eye on a couple people, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Just seeing like if anything was going to happen with a couple of characters, and then did some truck stuff. I did that club build thing, which came out interesting. You've done it before, I've done it before, but doing it every time I do it, it's just interesting because. So I'll give people a little hint. I'm writing this article about essentially why wherever you go get fit, True Spec, Cup Champion, Brian Golf, Joe Schmo down the road, whatever. Wherever you get fit, that place should buy or should build your golf clubs. Or they should have the standardized tools of measurement of the company that you are ordering the clubs from, which is a much harder scenario actually to create. The reason for that is actually from a OEM standpoint of trying to protect them. This happened a bit when I was at Club Champion, where a customer would come in and they would get fit and they would go, I don't want to pay that price. So not only two things would happen. One, they would go buy a combination of parts that was not fitted for them because they didn't want to spend the money on the fitted parts. So they would go to Mizuno's website, for example, and they'd order whatever stock option can happen. And they'd get the clubs in and they wouldn't work. And then they would complain that the Mizuno clubs were bad and that Club Champion was bad. And that's fair to or unfair to both accounts in that scenario because you did the front end work and then you chose to farm off the back end and then you wondered why they didn't connect in the end. That's a big problem. It's something that's definitely not fair to the OEMs because ordering stuff from an OEM when you got fit from a place that uses different measuring devices can make things really tricky and it can make the clubs perform significantly different. Even on tour, the test I did today with a 7-iron, that on the truck that the 7-iron was built on, it was measured as a 37-inch 7-iron that was a D3 flat swing weight. I had a couple swing weights up to D4.3. And then the lengths were between end of grip lengths because it was a built
36
club.
36 and 3/4 and 37 and a quarter, probably a half-inch difference.
So 36 and 7/8 and 37 and 3/8. So top to bottom, a half-inch difference. So if you got fit for a club at X brand and you got it built by the other brand, your club would be a half-inch different than what you thought you ordered it at. And it would also be a swing weight point and a half heavier, which was...
Let me see if I can do the detective work on this.
Okay. Yeah, who do you think was the short length?
Well,
there was only one company that was shorter than 37 inches. Only one.
It depends on where you started. Where did you start? Callaway.
The club was built on Scotty G's trailer.
Scotty G's trailer. Okay.
Yeah.
So I imagine because I've built clubs on his rulers before.
Mm-hmm.
You went to every truck?
Did
you go to Strixon?
So Strixon, Ping, Titleist, TaylorMade, Callaway,
Mizzy,
Cobra, Mizuno.
So no, everything but PXG. Okay.
And yeah, I didn't go to PXG, and I didn't go to I went to Titleist.
You went to Titleist? Okay.
Yeah, I didn't go to the shaft trailers. Like I didn't go to the True Temper trailer, and I didn't go to the Nippon trailer, and I didn't go to PXG.
Okay, Nippon trailers. Yeah, Nippon trailer and True Temper, I think, are the same. They use the same ruler. Okay, so you built it on Scotty G's truck. 37 inches end of grip. You took it to Callaway. At Callaway, it was probably 1/8 of an inch short. If I was going to guess. TaylorMade, it was 1/4 inch long. Or, yeah. If you took it to TaylorMade, it's probably the shortest of the bunch. Ping was probably 1/8 of an inch short. Callaway was 1/8 of an inch short. Strixon would have been 1/8 of an inch longer. No. TaylorMade would be the shortest one.
No.
Or maybe I'm going the other way around.
Well, what do you mean when you say shortest? Like you... Yeah, like the iron, like 30, like case, you're saying TaylorMade would have been 36 and 3/4? Or you're saying TaylorMade would have been 37 and a quarter?
If you built a 37 inch, like I'll go off of Callaway's truck. If I take a Callaway 7-iron on their truck and I go to Titleist, it's going to be end of grip, Tour Velvet, whatever the grip is. It's going to be apples to apples. They're relatively the same. From my experience, it should be pretty close. Ping, Titleist, Callaway should be relatively within 1/8 of an inch of each other, somewhere in there. TaylorMade on a 37-inch Callaway 7-iron would be a 37 and a quarter on the TaylorMade truck. A Callaway 7-iron is long on a TaylorMade truck. A Callaway 7-iron is long on a Mizuno truck. A Callaway 7-iron would be short on a Strixon truck.
Yep.
A Callaway 7-iron would be long on a Cobra truck.
Yep.
And a Callaway 7-iron would be slightly longer than Scotty G. So if it was shorter than Scotty G's. So on the Callaway 37 inch on the Callaway truck is going to be 37 and 1/8 or 37 and a quarter on Scotty's truck.
Yeah. So I messed you up a little bit. That's my fault.
Okay.
On Scotty G's truck, it was 37 and a quarter, but everything you said was correct.
Okay.
Well, one thing was not correct. So Wilson,
Never been on Wilson's truck, so yeah. So okay.
37 and a quarter. TaylorMade, 37 and a quarter. Mizuno, 37 and a quarter. Scotty G, 37 and a quarter. So those are all the same length.
Okay.
They were also all, not incoincidentally, the same swing weight reading. Titleist at D3. Titleist was D4 at 37 and 3/8. That was the longest measured club of the bunch. Strixon at 37 or 36 and 7/8 was half an inch shorter measured than on the Titleist truck at D4 and a quarter. And Callaway was D3 and a half at 37 inches, which was a quarter short of Scotty's.
So
And I have pictures.
Callaway would be in the middle of the pack, or slightly lower part of the middle of the pack, as far as
so
what their stock length is.
Callaway and Ping both measured at 37 inches on the dot.
Right.
End of grip.
Okay.
Ping was a D4.1 swing weight, which was the closest to Titleist at D4. But the difference between Titleist and Ping's measurements was 3/8 of an inch. Which makes sense, because that wedge that Adam built for me, because I've started building my wedges to my gap wedge length.
Right.
That wedge that Adam built me, the lob wedge, is as big as my
pitching wedge.
Yeah.
So
I got home and I was like, "Oh, this guy."
So the only thing I really get finicky about is the length of my clubs.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that'll throw me off.
Yeah.
So sorry guys, like for anybody listening to the show, we're getting way into the rabbit hole, but this is actually quite interesting stuff, because it tells an interesting picture that every OEM measures things differently. Now, I would love to live in a world where everybody, and they do it on purpose, because it's so easy to fix.
So, okay, so I had this discussion today with a lot of the guys, and the general consensus is the reason for it is they all think that you should measure from a different spot, essentially.
Correct.
Some of them measure from the middle of the sole. Some of them only measure length once you have bent the irons, because if you bend the iron
flat, they get longer.
Loft and lie, right? Like it's, longer, shorter. So they only will measure them after you bend them. Some of them measure it before you bend them. Some of them are on a 60-degree ruler, which is what the freaking thing should be. Everybody should just be on. Here's what's so dumb to me about this. Let's take drivers, for example, right? For drivers, you can't be over 46 inches on a USGA ruler. So all the trucks have a marking for a USGA 46-inch mark on whatever that means on their ruler.
That's but it's different on every truck. But it's really also different on every truck. Yeah, because it's not uniform.
Like that's so dumb, because you're saying that, like, for it to be USGA 46 at this company, it has to be 45 and an eighth on their ruler. Well, so am I actually playing the longest length, or am I not at that point? Like, am I? Well, it gets to the point where it's like, why doesn't, if the USGA is gonna give you a standard of measurement, they should also provide the measuring device.
They did.
And everybody should use. I know, but they don't require people to use it.
They don't require people to use it. So
dumb.
So what would happen is, and I'm sure a lot of the people listening to the show will be able to relate. And I experienced this when I was at WRX, because, in this job, you get clubs from everybody. You order a set of irons, and unless they can take your gamer irons and put them on a ruler and spec them out that way, then your chances of you getting a set that's matching the set that you're currently playing with are 50-50, call it. It's like, and I just know, like, if I order irons from TaylorMade, for example, I always get them a quarter of an inch longer. So instead of standard, I'll say just plus quarter inch on all the clubs, and they come out perfect Callaway standard, because that's what I'm used to, right? I know if I order Titleist clubs, Titleist and Callaway are going to match up 1-to-1. At least in my experience, every single time, especially with irons, they always end up being the same. The reason it matters is this, and the reason why I think that there's no urgency to get it done at an OEM level is because there is a little level of unpredictability from truck to truck and OEM to OEM. So it basically incentivizes them to go, no, we're going to do it our way. We measure on this ruler. So you don't have anybody just going, because length's a big deal, and length can influence swing weight, it can influence, a ton of
Yeah.
stuff.
Influences
So,
lie. It influences. Yeah. I mean, it's like
well,
it's a
even
lot. Yeah.
even bore level on a driver cog, how far the
Yeah.
shaft
Yeah.
actually
Oh
goes in
yeah.
there, that comes into play too. But they don't really publicize that. You have to figure. You'd have to get the if you're a TaylorMade guy, you'd have to get a Callaway cog and figure that out.
That was honestly something I never even thought about until that video that you did with Adrian.
With
I'm not gonna
Adrian,
lie.
yeah,
Like, yeah. Anyhow, like it makes a lot of sense. But I
it does.
literally
It does.
never thought about it.
So when you
Never crossed my
are
mind.
when you are going into a fitting, and Jake, this is gonna, I can't wait to read this article, because this is something like I did this experiment my first year at Callaway, but I couldn't write about it because it's not something I write about when I'm
Yeah.
working at
Yeah.
Callaway.
Yeah.
But, and I have it written down on a sheet somewhere in one of my things, like, but I went to every truck. I didn't go to Wilson. I don't even think I went to Scotty J. I started with a Callaway when I just took a 7 and went from truck to truck to truck. But what happens is like, as the consumer, when you go into a fitting, you have to bring your gamer clubs in there, and they have to spec them out before they start you.
Yeah. On their
They
equipment.
have to,
Yeah.
on their
Yeah.
equipment. And to Jake's point about getting them built in house, this is why shops like Cool Clubs and the way that TXG used to do it, and having them build the clubs on site or really close at a warehouse where they can take the specs and they go, okay, and they get the components from the OEMs. What the way that it works for a lot of these guys is they get a bunch of stock sets in, they pull the heads off, and then they start assembling. It's not like the companies don't send raw heads for the most part to these fitting houses. I mean, sometimes they do, but for the most part, I think they just get a lot of stock sets.
Yeah. The
And they
big
pull them
ones. I mean,
apart.
like Cool Clubs, Club Champion, True Spec. They'll get heads only, and then the fitting accounts though. It's I don't think people. That's one of the things that's like an underrated equipment industry myth. I think actually is like getting a head only account takes a lot of
Years
work, a
in
lot of
business.
trust, and like an
Mm-hmm.
insane amount of consistent business for them to because you're putting the success of their product in like out of their hands. You're taking it away from them.
Right.
And that's a scary thing. Like, so if you're not doing millions of dollars of business for that company, then they don't have much incentive for you to do that. So if you find a fitter, like I'll throw Brian out there. We talk about Brian all the time, but whatever. I'll throw Brian out there. Brian has head only accounts, and that's not an easy thing to accomplish because if you find a place and you find a private fitter that has a head only account, like a true head only account, which also, side note, they're not allowed to sell to you. I can't stress that enough, people. Like, you can't reach out to these places and ask them to sell you only heads because
The
part
heads
of the
is
agreement for them to get heads only is that they're not selling them as only heads. They're
right.
selling them as builds because they have proved that their build will hold up the standard of what the anyhow, that's a little rant, sorry. But like, yeah. So anyhow, little guys, if you find a head only account, like that means that fitter is like probably really, really good and super
Yeah,
trusted within what they're doing. I mean,
and you're talking about
that's killer stuff.
you're talking about the Brian Golfs, you're talking about the Tour Vans, you're talking about the Joe Quocks, the Will Peoples,
Yeah.
you're talking about the Cool Clubs, you're talking about True Spec,
Yeah.
some big prominent fitting houses, but as far as like the one-man shops or two-man shops, you kind of know who they are.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of them. I'd say probably 15% of the marketplace is a head only account. There's not a lot of them, and you have to weed them out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this is it answers a big question. It's like, I got my clubs, I got fit, they were perfect when I got fit, and then I got the set and they just don't work. They don't feel the same. A lot of that is because what they measured you on in shop versus what got built. That's why going into an OEM ecosystem, like Jake, you said this like a month ago on the show, like picking a OEM and just riding and dying with that OEM. One of the benefits to doing that is all the clubs come out the same all the time. Like if you were a Titleist guy, the one thing about being a Titleist guy is, and this fascinates me every single time, is if I ever get a Titleist club and I take, since I started with golf.com, I've probably gotten, I don't know, 4 sets of Vokies, 5 sets of Vokies. They're all exactly the same. Like there's not one that's like 1/4 inch longer, an eighth of it. They all, I mean, every adjustment's been, even if I got Tour Velvet Aligns, which have a 1/4 inch cap on them, right? Even those are adjusted to make sure that in the set they're the same, right? So it's that's where the level of craftsmanship comes into play. Ping's very good at it. Callaway's obviously very good at it. All the big dogs are really, really good at it. But like if you're going to go and order a set of, I remember the first set I got when I started this gig was a set of Strixons, and I was super jacked. And I sent them my specs. I said, I'm 38 inches on a end of grip on a 5-iron, yada, 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 yada. And they sent me a set of clubs, and they were long. They were 1/4 inch long on every club.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they measure short. Yeah.
They measure short. And I was like, do I need to cut these? Because it bothered me. It doesn't matter. Not really. I mean, it could, but it bugged me. It bothered me.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I would say it for sure matters. Yeah.
So I have to go in there and talk to Rodney and those guys and be like, dude, I hate to be a dick, but can I cut these down or whatever? And they're like, yeah, like then they cut them down, they fixed them, like whatever. There's nothing for those guys. Like, yeah, they just, they might have reshaft them for all I know. But just for the folks who will kill this topic now, and if you got to let everybody know when you write that article, like I would put that out there. That's an article you want to read because that has bearing on how you buy golf clubs. You want to talk about being savvy?
To that too.
Yeah. You want to talk about being savvy and kind of knowing how to navigate these waters. That's a big, what he's talking about and what that article's about that's a big one.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
One more additional consumer warning to that. Actually, not a warning, but a pro tip. At almost every OEM, if you change something about your order, it gets built on a different line. And that is very beneficial to you from a build consistency process. So if you like literally as much as changing the stock grip turns it into a custom quote unquote build. So if you're an MCC player, don't buy your grips at a store and change them yourself when you buy your irons. Put them on the irons when you buy them, and they'll get actually built like by people instead of on a line and then batched and then pulled and then put in a box as a stock set. There is a difference even at the OEM level versus changing something. I also used to tell people like make them a 1/2 degree weak if you want to, whatever the case may be, like some BS like that. Your clubs will come out better and they will not cost you any more money. It might take an extra week, but it won't cost you any more money.
So all these big all the big OEMs have it, but like you said, they have a custom section of the build shop, and then they have their general consumer, like turn and burn.
Yeah.
Now, granted, the processes themselves, it doesn't mean that your clubs are less good if you get them in the big production line. They're just less paid attention to. You're dealing with somebody that's building 500 clubs in a day versus somebody that's building 25 sets a day or whatever the number is. Now, you and I are fortunate that we've had clubs built on a production line. I've had clubs built in custom. I've had clubs built in Pro Tour. Like I've liked every version. It hadn't really mattered to me. Like as long as they do what they're supposed to do. So there's no, to Jake's point, there is some hacks that you can do. Like I know a couple of OEMs, if you bend them, for example, 1.5 degree weak, if you make it a 1/2 degree weak and swing weights are D4.5, you start putting halves and stuff in there and getting very granular on the build. Sometimes they'll kick them over to Pro Tour and just be like, we're gonna build them over there.
Like this person really feels like he knows what he wants. Let's make sure he gets it. Yeah.
Let's make sure he gets him correct. And if it's coming from a reputable fitter, it's like, oh, this guy needs this shaft. He's looking for this cog. He wants this. And all of a sudden they're just like, fuck it. Like, we'll build that one over there. It happens not all the time, but sometimes it happens. Okay. So Bay Hill. So you did that. We just went on a complete tangent, but it's very useful for the consumers, people out there buying golf clubs. That's a nugget.
I have 2 stories in Bay Hill today too.
Okay.
They're the first one is me being an idiot, but it's Greg Moore's fault, and was he on not Greg Moore, but was Greg Shaw, our friend Greg? Is he on his new gig yet or no? No, he's on the truck still. Yeah. Okay. No. So I'm in Russell Henley's press conference this morning. I'm actually kind of jazzed to ask him because he got photographed. He had 2 drivers in the bag yesterday, and he went back to TSI 3, not TSR. TSI.
Yeah, TSI. Which is a good driver.
Weird. Yeah. He won the AP last year with a GT. Mm-hmm. So I don't know why he went all the way back to TSI. Anyhow, so I asked him a question. And then I also was like, and you also, there's a 1-iron in your bag. And he goes, I don't know, a 1-iron? And I'm like, yeah, according to the photos. there's a 1 iron in your bag on the range yesterday. And he's like, I don't have a 1 iron in my bag, man. And this is in front of like a room,
Yeah, immediate.
and David Dusek is sitting in the chair next to me, like looking at me like, oh, that sucks
Oh
for
yeah,
you, you know?
gotcha.
And
Yeah,
he,
rookie.
like him and
Yeah.
I, we laughed about it. But so turns out that the photo was a photo of a dirty 4 iron where the four part, like like the triangle part, was like covered up. So it looked like a 1 iron. So I go out to the green and I go, Greg, what the hell, man? I was like, you're not cleaning clubs before we're taking pictures? I swear to you, Johnny, I have witnesses of this. He goes, I did that on purpose, Jake. He goes, I thought that people in the forums were going to start freaking out that Russell Henley had a 1 iron in his bag. And here you go, ask him about it in the press conference. He's like, check the forums later today. I bet you're in that column. And I'm like, God bless it, Greg. Like, are you kidding me? And he's like, Jake, honestly, buddy, he's like, you couldn't have scripted that up better for me. And I was like, well, you're welcome, Greg. Like,
The jokes are right. The jokes are writing
I
themselves
mean,
these
I
days.
just like I accept full responsibility for whatever happens in that forum because of that. And Russell thought it was hilarious because I go up to him on the range afterwards, and I'm like, "Hey, dude, by the way, I found out it was a picture of your 4 iron that he didn't clean off, so it looked like a one." And I showed him the picture, and Russell's
Right.
like, "Yeah, that looks like a 1 iron." And then he looks at me though, and he goes, "You know what though? I'm kind of thinking about a 1 iron." And I was like, Russell, if you put a 1 iron
Stop
in the
it.
bag, even
Yeah.
for the pro-am tomorrow, I was like, that would make me the happiest person on the planet. I was like, I will go to the Titleist truck for you, and I will go grab a 1 iron if you want to try a 1 iron for 2 swings that I can photograph you swinging a 1 iron and
Just
throw
when
it
you
right
don't
back
use
at
it,
Greg.
stick it in the. When you don't use it, put it in your bag
Just
for a
put it in the
minute.
bag. Yeah. Tell
Yeah.
Greg to come over. Say, hey, I got something new in the bag. Yeah. No, it was a big, honestly, that was one of the moments, to be honest with you, that was like this industry. I also threw up a cheeky little photo on Twitter. I took a picture of me, Rappaport, and Luke, and I just put no context as the caption because like
Right.
people assume that like we all hate each other because we do the same thing for different entities, right? Like, so they just
Right. Right.
assume
Right.
like everybody hates each other. The truth is, like, this industry is small. Golf media is smaller than golf is in general. The niche is there. And, like, like at the end of the day, not everybody is each other's best friend. I'm not going to put it that way. Like, I'm not saying I have a close, tight relationship with these guys, but like, we all know that we're grinding, doing the same thing. And for the most part, everybody's pretty respectable as long as you are respectable. And it was a moment today that reminded me that, like, we're all just kind of out there as a bunch of golf geeks, just having a good time. And
Oh man.
if you write for this place or you write for this place, like we're all doing it because we love it. We love golf. And if you get a moment to rag on one of the ones from the other places, you're going to take it. Right. Like that's fine. That's fair game. Like I accept that. But it was fun. It was like one of those moments where you realize like my job's really fun. And like, if we can all do this together and laugh about it and kind of joke with each other, like we're in a good spot. It's a fun place
Yeah.
to be.
You get like That's fun. That's actually great that you said that because and I've said this before. No one's curing cancer out here. Like at
Yeah.
the end of the day, especially in the equipment space, like it's the most non-sexy industry you can get in. Like I walk around,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it is like like I remember when I was at WRX, for example, everybody thought that WRX and my golf spot were just arch enemies. And two of my favorite people in the industry are Covey and Chris Nickel. I love those guys. Like when I see them at the PXG events, I always love. I mean, to this day, I still catch up with. I'll text Tony every now and again, and um, it is a small industry. Like and the funny thing is like if you go back and Ian Fraser and I were talking about this, a lot of the main equipment commenters in this field now are all kind of from this, and I can even sort of put you in that bucket in a weird way. So like everybody kind of came up together. So I met Ian and Matt Bloy and Mike Marty Savich when they were not really TXG yet. They had like 20,000 subscribers. I'd gone to their shop because they found out a WRX person was living in Toronto. And I went there and, got to be buddies. This is my first, like my second year in Toronto, and Ian and I became fast friends. But you got out of that TXG store, if you're going to throw me into that store, I didn't work there, but I hung out there a lot. You got Frazier, you got Matt Bloy, you got Mac Boucher, you got Mike Marty Savage, you got Ryan Barrett, you got myself. So that's 6. Then in that circle, which I will say, that because we all knew each other, Brian LaRoche, Jake Morrow. You were a little bit later because you're 4 or 5 later behind everybody because you were younger.
Yeah.
But like this is a very small Shane Deal, who was like a is now a Titleist rep, but he was part of the WRX Friday AMA crew.
Nuds,
Tursky. Yeah, Tursky, Knudsen.
Yeah.
We've all gone like this together, like in some weird way, and none of us compete against each other because we all. What I will say is all of us do something, our own thing, pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
Like everybody has a weird lane that they kind of live in, and I think it's great. Like, and I'll even put the whole WRX forum in that bucket because out of that forum, because I came out of that forum. That's where I was a featured writer for WRX. Harry Shee came out of that forum, who's now a Callaway tour rep.
Yeah.
Like it's wild. It's pretty wild. So to your point, it is a small industry. Everybody's actually really fucking cool all the time. And it's fun competitive, I will say. It's way more competitive amongst the OEMs than it is when you get out in the golf media. Now, when I was at Callaway, it was competitive. It was like, and Essie's like my little brother, but it was us versus Essie and that crew versus, James Ellis and Ping and those guys and Shiv and all those people at Cobra. And it was literally like that. It was like, oh, fuck, like we're at war, guys. We got to figure this out. Anyway. Okay.
Yeah, so the biggest thing we got to deal with is like I would go up to something and like there's a couple things that are out on tour right now that are not to be photographed or talked about, and like I'm talking to one guy about a thing, and Greg Moore comes up behind him and he goes, "Jake better not be taking pictures of that because I can't take pictures of it." And I'm like, "Calm down, Greggy. We're good." But but stuff like that. It's like there's a little moments where you're like, you want to make sure that you're on top of things and you want to make sure you don't miss anything that somebody else might have got. But there's also like there's just people that like that's their thing. There's people that like their thing is their thing, and to try to take them off their thing takes a lot of work. And a lot of times the industry is kind of like let that person do their thing.
It's not their. It's not the being first or having the leak is not the thing anymore. Meaning, like, it used to have so much value. Like it was guaranteed clicks. Like but if you don't have the story to back it up, like if you don't have the information to back it up, it's just a picture, right? It's literally all it is. So, like where we have, it's not an advantage, but like the way we do it here is like if we have something to talk about, if we are given a picture of something, trust me, we're going to show you the picture, and then we're going to come behind it with like the guy that built it, the guy that did it, the guy that was standing on the range with Rory when he was there. I mean, it's a different animal. Okay, so so I heard Kellen gave you a driver today. Is that correct? You came out with some product today, I heard.
Yeah.
There was a Jake Morrow buzz around the trucks today. I got some phone calls. Good happy phone calls.
I was gonna say what are you talking about? I was actually fairly tame.
I'm just fucking with you.
No, so yeah, the spin thing is still an issue. So the full sequence of events is I got fit for the Callaway stuff. It's very, very fast, and I want the speed. I want the speed that these heads produce. I have said that many times. I'm pretty committed to like that speed. The issue is the new quantum stuff, and I've also said this, is very, very low spin. It is
even the TD Max is not low spin, but lower than normal. Yeah,
and it's difficult. They're not super easy to launch because of the new properties and the way that they're achieving the spin. I also think that the face is part of that story. Again, they achieved the ball speed thing, 100%. So we were messing around with some things. I was trying to change shaft, which is just a dumb idea. Like I would never tell somebody else to do that, and then I started trying to do that, which meant it was dumb. So I went to Kellen and I called him. I was like, hey man, like I just can't get these things to spin. Like, what are my options here? So he suggested first, he's like, well, did you put a little bit more weight in the back? And I said, yeah, but now it's getting way too heavy. And, there's only so much you can do because you can't take any weight out of the front. The stock front weight is 2 grams, which stinks. And I've said that and I don't like that. Like, I wish the head would start at 7.7 and let you move from there, right? Like that would be ideal instead of 2 and 10 plus 7. So it's honestly the stock weight for Callaway is like 2 and 17 basically.
Right.
So you
basically,
don't really
yeah,
have too
unless
much
you're
room.
fortunate enough to get one of those 1 gram covers.
Yeah,
which
but
aren't,
like
yeah.
Yeah, but like realistically, you can't actually put any more weight in the back. So the idea was to hot melt the crown. So essentially, you're trying to raise the CG a little bit, which is not going to help with the launch. But they said they did it for one of the tour guys. I don't know if I'm allowed to say his name, so I'm not going to. They did it for one of the tour guys, and it instantly raised spin by about 300 reps. So I go out, I test this driver at Featherstone, and sure enough, the average of this TD at N+1 on the cog, it's a 9-degree head, goes from about 1,700 to about 2,000. The problem is, it's still not launching appropriately for 2,000 revs of spin.
Right. So you're launching. Okay. You're launching it at like 910.
At like 910.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And so when I kind of lean back and throw it up there, it works really well and it's very fun to hit. But it's not a consistent swing. It's not my swing. And I started to mess around with like shaft profile, and that's just, again, that's a terrible idea. Stick with the shaft that you got fit for. So today we decided that like the only option now is loft. So we did a couple of things. I think he found a lighter head. So we started with more room to add weight. He added weight to the back via the actual brick weights. And then he still hot melted the crown with the same amount of grams that Garrett did from ECPC, which was 6 grams. So the total head weight is 197, which is super reasonable. Not a big deal there.
That'll get you to D3
that's totally fine.
Yeah.
And we're hoping that I can go back to the whiteboard and everything will be hunky dory at about, we're trying to get it to like 1321 is 1321, 1322 maybe.
Yeah.
Would be great. The cool thing about the triple diamond is when you put it in +1, so adding loft again. So this thing's now going to play at 11.5, but it's incredibly square at address now, which is super cool. Like the cog it's so square. So that's what I got from Kellen. And then the only other thing I really did was I found a used 4 hybrid on the pink truck that I'm going to put on. We head weight matched it to the 5 hybrid, and we're going to put it on that shaft just to get 5 more yards out of it.
Nice. So that will be your 4-iron.
Yeah, that's a reliable 215, 220 shot, which I was kind of like, I would have to slam that 4-iron, that Cobra one, which you saw me do twice, and it worked really well, but it's a lot of effort.
Right.
So that will replace that as just a 215 easy swing, 220 hard one, 210 floater. That's
what my four hybrid's the same way. It's like if I chip it, I can hit it 210. If I punch it, I can hit it 220, 222. Yeah. Like that's cool.
The issue I was running into was the 5 hybrid just wouldn't go far enough sometimes. That's all. That's it.
Yeah, and the only way to make it go far enough is you have to hit a big rope hook with no spin, which is hard to do under the gun and hard to do every time. Yeah. So what? Obviously, I know of 3 things that are out on tour this week that are new. You told me about one of them that I knew were going to be out there. I also know there's a set of irons that are out on one of the trucks that are coming out later this year that are now on the truck, on a truck. And then there's a third fairway wood floating around out there that I'll have to tell you about offline. You'd have to grab somebody's bag. It's there and it's not supposed to be because the person that it's one of those things where it was a prototype head and the fitter's like, this you might like this one. We
Yeah,
tried it. The
fair
player
enough.
loved it, and then the company's
Yeah,
like, "Well, fucking a, man! Like, we only have one of those things, and nobody
yeah.
knows anything about it." And I will try and get. I know that this person is on the range tomorrow, so I will try and get a picture of it. I don't know if I'm going to share it, but I'll show it to you.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay, so we have a big. Oh, we got to talk about Battle of the Beach. But the
We
last
do.
question I want to ask about your round is of the bag. So the driver we've already talked about. You have your mini driver with you. What's the
I
second
have
wood?
the I have the hammer mini driver with me. Yeah.
Okay, and then you have your TaylorMade 5 wood.
Yep.
Then you
Which is
have
a
your
absolute
hammer. You love
unit.
it.
Yep.
Then you
Yep.
have your 4 hybrid theoretically,
Yeah.
and then you have your 3D Tour 5 iron.
Tour 5 and then
Then you have
MD 6 to pitch.
six to pitch. You didn't do the Vokey pitching wedge.
No.
And then you're doing 50, 56, 60 in your Cobras.
So 50, 56 Cobra, V grind, W grind, and the 60. I'm using Adams. I'm committed to that wedge.
That ping.
Yeah, it's crazy actually. That's kind of
And
a big thing for me to say. I'm not gonna lie.
what's the putter, Judge A?
I have my Chicago with me.
Okay.
I putted with the Spider on Sunday.
Well,
I
you putt good with your Chicago though, so it's kind of like why like
yeah. The thing is, I feel like on Sunday, like I putted really well, but I didn't get anything to the hole, and I want to blame that on the insert.
right.
Um,
Did you get a white? Are you a white insert guy or a black insert?
Mine's white, but it has the aluminum backer, so it's the slightly firm one. It's
Gotcha,
it's
okay.
firmer than yours.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine's soft. Mine's almost like a white hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mine's the one in between yours and like the milled insert, which is not something you can get. I asked, or well, it's not something I can get easily. That would be, I think, if I were to make a full transition into this Spider, it would be this head with this neck, with this shaft, with this grip, but with the milled insert instead of the insert I have in it.
So you
that being said,
you like some pop.
I want to hear it. That's my thing.
Yeah.
I want to hear it.
Right.
So with something that's milled, even if it's deeper milling, like my Chicago is the old one that has deep diamond groove. That was the old deeper milling. So like the new stuff from Toulon this year, or like Xander's putter, is a little bit shallower even because he wanted to hear it more and like get a nice little click off of it. So even mine, like being a little bit deeper, still feels and sounds really nice. I don't know. I'm actually going to tomorrow. He is going to decide. He's going to tell me which one I should use. That's part of my plan for tomorrow. Is Mr. Sweeney is going to tell me which putter I should use this weekend.
Okay.
And he's going to do something with me to figure that out. Because he's a very big, like, he believes in the mount thing, he believes in the Spider thing, but he also believes that you should play a putter that you have superior confidence with. And right now, I still want to look down and see my Chicago. I tell you what, dude, that new lab,
it's nice.
From any angle you look at it, looks a little funky. Soon as you put it down behind a ball and you look at it from address, beautiful.
See, I think it looks great. I think it's a cool looking putter. Yeah.
Oh, it's behind the ball. It is so nice. And the Bettinardi prototype zero torque thing too was actually really, really similar. Also, a little funky from any angle you look at it. But the moment you put it behind a ball, like they both just look really good. Like there is a chance. I'm gonna say it right now. I will give the lab link to HS like a legitimate run for the bag.
See, if Lab made their HS, the first one, the mallet, if they made that with a stainless steel and if they made that with the aluminum, is it aluminum? Aluminum's the all black face, and then the stainless steel's the insert, right? Is that how it is? They have a kind of a crisper one,
yeah.
and then
the
softer,
because the non-insert is actually the softer one.
Yeah, if they made one that head, which they don't, they're all insert. If they made that with a non-insert, I would play that putter because I love the mushroom. I love the way it feels. I actually like that putter. I putted with it for a little bit last
Oh,
summer
so
and I loved it.
you just want an Oz One HS, no I. Yeah,
What's the I stand for?
insert.
Yeah, no I.
Yeah,
No
you
I.
want an Oz HS, no I, which
No
they do
I.
not make. You're
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah. That's the one I want. I told Sam because Sam sent a bunch of putters over and I tried and I like there was I the mushroom I thought was great. Like I think that thing's awesome. It's ugly as all hell, but it rolls it good. It's great. It doesn't it's the one center shafted putter that doesn't fight me for my life when I'm trying to for some reason it still does a little bit of this, like just enough. And that could be a shaft lean thing, but that that HS, that what's it called? Oz HS.
Yeah, Oz One
Um,
HS. Yeah,
Oz one HS. Like that putter is amazing. The only problem is that insert is a ball speed machine.
dude, it's
Like
a rocket ship.
it's a
Yeah,
rocket. And I told him, I'm like, bro,
it's a
this
wing.
putter looks amazing. It
Yeah,
rolls it good, but dude, I'm getting like 190 ball speed out of this thing. Like
yeah.
I can't control it. Um,
I told him the same thing, and that's how I felt about when they put the insert on the DF3. I like my favorite putter in the lab lineup is the DF3. I never had an issue with the regular one being too slow. Like I actually purposely used that putter on slow greens because I actually thought it was like jumpy off the face. I
I
couldn't
think it's
control
easy.
it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So then they went to the insert because they're like, well, a lot of people said it was too slow, or it was too soft, or it was too. And I'm like, holy hell! Like these people must be playing on carpet because
Yeah.
if
No.
you need it to go faster than that, like wow, like
Well,
that's some insane stuff.
that was one of the issues I had with I remember when AI1 came out. That was one of the problems I had with AI1 is it wasn't as extreme as the lab is. And we're not talking about it's not obnoxious. It's just, if like I'm used to micro hinge, right? Like white hot and micro hinge. Like even before I worked at Callaway, I was always putting with a putter like that. I just got really used to that insert. So for me, soft inserts means I can make an aggressive stroke. The ball's not going to get away from me. I've always noticed that I can play a little bit less loft with a softer insert. Like it all just kind of marries up. It always just kind of worked for me. So I remember when AI1 came out and it was still a white hot insert, but it was a little faster off the face. And it was like it was something you kind of had to get used to. And I remember I had some banger putters um that Cody made me, and Joe made me a really cool one. I had some beautiful looking putter. I just couldn't get used to the speed, man. I had a hard time. So I ended up, almost trying to find them. If I just put in can you just put a normal white hot insert in here? Just let me go do my thing.
Did you? I got to see those Damascus putters in person today.
Mm-hmm. They're beautiful.
I mean, it's gorgeous. And I did straight up ask on my lug guys, is this is this Damascus themed or is this Damascus? And they were like, no, this is Damascus. And
Right.
I asked them, I'm like, is this going to be a retail thing? They didn't really give me a clear answer on that. And I was like, because if it's retail, I mean, that's
like a $1,200 putter.
Six. Yeah, I guess somewhere between 6 and 7. Because I don't think Callaway would go completely off this. Joe, just stop it! Don't you dare! Oh my gosh!
If 7,
8-9,
if
8-9.
If my sons are here, they would
My
literally,
gosh.
if they were standing over here, they would both start going like this.
just could we?
It's
My
so
gosh.
dumb.
Yeah, well, you did it. Like, anyhow.
I have like, what do they call it? Like, when you've been held hostage by somebody and you like, what's that syndrome called? Stockholm syndrome.
Stockholm syndrome?
From like Gen Z verbiage. Like everything in my house is brah. I just heard that a new word, chuggy, which means it's somebody that's trying too hard. Stop being so chuggy.
Yeah. Do your kids call you Unk ever?
No, I'd punch them.
I hate
go to
that.
jail
I
for
hate
child
that one.
abuse.
That one.
Yeah,
That one
I'd punch
stinks.
'em.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
one stinks. Anyhow, but yeah. So those are very pretty though. I have no idea if they're coming to retail. I have no idea if they do how much they would cost. But it was very pretty to see in person, and the fact that it is true Damascus was quite legit because that is a hell of a process. Now that I think about it, I should have rolled it. I didn't do that. I didn't.
They're
I
they're
just looked at it. That was dumb.
so they did it about I mean, there's been Damascus putters rolling around Callaway because they made them. You know, Ian Poulter had a Damascus
Hmm.
Odyssey 11, 12 year. You'd have to look it up online, but like, yeah, I think he actually
Oh,
played in the Ryder
okay.
Cup with one. So this is not their first stint with Damascus steel. They had a line that if memory serves, they sold it in limited quantities like 12 years ago, 13 years ago. And if you go to ECPC or if you go around Pro Tour, sometimes you would see a rando one, somebody getting one refurbished or whatever, and they feel amazing. Like for as you know, they're supposed to be a little bit on the firmer side, I guess, but they sound amazing, but they sound soft, I should say. Like, you know, it's almost like a crisp feel with a softer sound. Are you looking at the Odyssey,
Dude,
Damascus?
there's a listing. This has to be like a just like an old like out of stock
We'll
thing
throw it up. Let's
because
see it.
it shows a Odyssey white. It says Odyssey white Damascus IX number one for $10,000
Yeah, that's it. That's the one
on
that that's the one
Callaway
that
pre-owned.
that's the one that
So that but
Poulter
99.99.99 must be just like a designation
for like expensive.
or like just doesn't exist anymore. Like there's no way that ever sold for. Let's check eBay.
Hold on, I'm gonna go on here.
Oh,
Hey,
there's a
by the
plugged
way,
in. Oh, there's only
2026
350 made.
tour issue, White Hot Second Swing Odyssey. Here they are,
Okay, there's one on
Damascus.
eBay for $160.
So Odyssey limited edition Damascus. This was the one that Ian Poulter putted with. Is Odyssey White Damascus IX putter.
So that's
Um,
only the face though.
yes, and then this one here
So the
is
body of the one I saw is
469.
the body is also Damascus.
So on Plugged In Golf, they have there's a bunch of Damascus putters on here. Yeah, they did sell them. There was a whole line of them. That was like
Oh,
literally like 12 years ago. Anyway, long story longer. This isn't the first time they've done it.
yeah, white Damascus from Japan.
From Japan. Yeah. I
From
think they're
Japan.
actually selling them in Japan right now.
Like the new ones are actually like for sale.
I think so, yeah.
I wonder if they're
I
on
think
like
so.
JD's clubs or whatever that place is called.
I don't
What's that
know.
place called? JD's. I think it's like JD's clubs. Yeah.
So I went and did my like little final. I went to Pace of Play, which is kind of my little hitting house here, and you know, and I'm in Toronto, and I went and hit. I said I need to get 150 swings in before I go, so I went and hit a bunch of balls, like, and that's when I kind of texted you that, and I was like, I hate hitting drivers indoors, like I feel
Yeah.
like it's
Yeah, I'm
um,
super over that.
but figured out a couple of things. Driver's in a good spot, so I'm only coming here with one driver. I'm not going to say what it
Oh,
is.
well, that's no fun.
One driver.
What the
I
heck?
lied. I have two heads and a shaft, but they're the same driver.
Oh, so I know what it is. Okay.
I had to get. I found out that my 3-wood's really good. My 5-wood was actually at like 19 and a half degrees of loft, and I was because I couldn't figure out why I was spinning it so much.
Oh,
It's got a lot of loft on it.
yeah,
So
that's a lot of waft. It's almost like a 6 wood.
yeah. So, because I couldn't figure, I was spinning everything over 4,000, and I'm like, my ball speed's really good. Like my ball speed was at like
Yeah, which I
151.
still don't think is a problem, but we already talked about why that's not a problem for
But
me.
yeah, because I'm launching it high, right?
Yeah.
And so anyway, we're gonna get that fixed. So I got my guy. My guy built me a new 3 and a new 5-wood. So we're gonna get those tomorrow. But hybrids perfect. The irons are woo. The irons are amazing. Wedges are good. Ball's good. Putter's good. We're ready. I'm ready to rock. So like I can say honestly, now my game, like as far
Putter
as putters,
spider
spider, yeah. I'm
ball Tour X
Tour X, yeah.
wedges Vokey
Vokey,
irons Cobra 3D. Where are you stopping? 5,
5-iron,
and
and then I
then
have a 4 hybrid.
G430 4 hybrid.
Oh yeah, baby. Oh yeah.
G430. Okay, and then you go
QI 4D, 3 and 5 wood, and
and then
then
driver.
driver.
Got it.
And I would say as far as my bag is concerned, it was down to I had to make a conscious this. What do you got? What are you doing back there?
No, good. Keep going. Keep going.
I had to make a conscious decision though, and because I was going to show up to this thing with TD Maxx.
Okay.
I was going to.
I know. We talked about it in the last pod, and I was very excited.
And that's the other. I travel with both of them. They're both carbon copies of each other, but they're different drivers essentially. So there's TD Maxx, and then there's this QI4D. But they're like loft to loft car. They're carbon copies of each other. So now I have to go to the driving range, and I finally left the pace of play hitting indoors. I was hitting them kind of both the same. I hit one really, really well, and I hit one pretty well. But one of them is easy to turn over, and the other one just goes straight. Anyway, long story, even longer. We're going to figure that out on Thursday. But everything else in the bag is ready to rock. And I would say I'm playing the least amount of golf I ever have going into Battle of the Beach, but I've never hit that many balls in the same week going into the Battle of the Beach. And my bag's never been in a better spot. This will be the first tournament that I'm showing up without 14 peeling the wrappers off of these clubs. Like if this is my 6th Battle of the Beach, I think it's my 5th and my 6th. I've peeled wrappers off of clubs on the range 4 times.
You know what's crazy? Just 2 years ago, we did our first podcast together.
Yeah.
With Brian. It was my podcast at the time. That was
episode, it's on YouTube.
That was episode 3. Yeah, it's on YouTube. It's on my YouTube. It's up. It's up there.
Do you want to know? Do you want to know something funny about that? You want to know something funny about that podcast?
I would love to.
I remember going to the content shoot, because this week for me typically is chaotic. It's like Bay Hill, a day of practice, hammock, Players Championship, shoot. Like it's like 9 days. It's like one of the big 9-day runs that I had on the schedule. Now it's like
living it, bud. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I remember driving from hammock Sunday afternoon. And that was the year that we didn't make it through the playoffs. I think we came in 2nd or 3rd that year. I think we didn't
got into the playoff.
We should have won, but I chunked
a
9-iron or something stupid happened, and
you did. Yeah.
But that was the year that Brian got mad at me because I reshafted all my irons before
on Scotty G's truck the day before Battle of the Beach. Yeah.
Anyway,
I ratted you out on that one. I tattled on you for that.
Yeah. But I remember thinking back how impressive it was, because I saw you. And I'm used to coming from Callaway, where I had people shoot my stuff, and I had the whole setup. And I remember driving back and thinking, like, that kid just recorded that podcast, mic'd everybody up, had his camera set, had to keep going back and checking it. And I'm like, this is what he does. I'm like, that was pretty impressive. And I remember calling my buddy and going, there's this kid, Jake. And I was already following you long before that. We had already been talking, and we knew each other before that. But I was like, that was impressive, because you were doing it for the love of the game. Like, you were doing it for the love of the content. Like, you were literally just capturing content to build a business. Like, these are sacrifices I'm making. I don't have all the widgets that you have. And it's funny though.
Drag all that stuff out there. Yeah.
So when people will DM me, I probably get about 3 or 4 a week. People will say, hey, how do I get into the industry, and how do I do what you do and Jake does, and whatever. And I will say this: you have to have enough passion and enough care to, one, because I've done it for free too. I've done it for when I was at WRX, I had minor ducats at WRX, like minor ducats. You have to do this because you love it so much that you're willing to do everything and basically run yourself to the ground to create the next opportunity, then to create the next opportunity, then to create the next opportunity. That's this racket. And it's not.
Yeah, it's hard.
But it's fun. But you have to love rando hard part of it is you have to grind your ass off. Like, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of bullshit. So, anyway, that was the first time I was like, this kid's fucking rad. Like, this guy works really hard.
That's a fun podcast too. Like we have fun. Here, by the way, just a little sneak peek for you. We'll do this. We're gonna do an official full reveal tomorrow on camera, but we got a little nice piece here.
Where are my head covers?
Yeah, well, there's one. You got a little nice piece here.
That's a nice piece.
There you go. Yeah,
I'm excited about that. I can't wait to. I'm really excited.
Fake alligator skin. I mean, that's a little nice piece there.
I'm really excited for the driver.
Shout out swag.
Is a nice.
But the other thing we got to make sure we talk about too is I'm bringing baby blue and black Bruce Bullet gloves to Battle at the Beach. I don't know about you.
I'm bringing black and white Bruce Bullet gloves.
The black is, I gotta say, there's something about the black, like, and I'm like legitimately, I was like packing up my bag, and I had the couple colors and stuff, and I'm not gonna lie, I did plan what I was gonna wear, and I did maybe associate my golf glove choice with that. I'm okay. I'm confident in myself to say that.
See,
the black's kind of sick though. I will say I got called out on the Callaway fitting video for wearing a black glove with a navy outfit. Let me let you all in a little secret. 2 things happened there. 1, yes, that's horrendous. I agree. It looks bad. You're all right. Everybody that was like, that looks stupid, you are absolutely correct. Number 2, I didn't know the difference. I can't tell. There's a certain spectrum of colors that I do not see the difference in. And in the wrong light at 6:30 in the morning with no Red Bull, it all looks the same. So that's what we had. We stuck with it. We'll do better.
Now,
next
time. I promise. Are you shorts in it there? Or are you going to pants it there? Are you a tournament pants player? Or are you a tournament shorts guy?
I'm not. The thing is, I brought both. I might do pants just because I'm going to look at the wind map. Let me put it that way. I don't love the feeling of it being super windy wearing shorts because it just like hits your legs a bunch, and I don't know. It's just a weird feeling. So I'll go pants if that's the case. But shorts would be the preferred option in the Florida humidity.
Okay, we got 2 more topics to cover, then we got to wrap this up. First,
all right, let's do it.
We're almost to the conclusion of Fully Fit. So we have 1 more episode that will drop, or 2 more episodes. 2 more episodes? 2 more episodes.
Well, so we have 2 in the conclusion.
In the big videos. Yeah. So we have Callaway and Srixon. And then we have some follow-up stuff to do. So when that's over, folks, this is, and I needed to say this publicly, the 3 things that I want you guys to get from this, and Jake, you can chime in obviously if you want to. 1 is be very, very aware of how each OEM fits players. And hopefully we've given you, and we'll do better next year, but ultimately you have a snapshot of the philosophies of each fitting place OEM. So like you're going to find Titleist has a way, 3D's a fitting. Callaway has a way that's evolving as we speak. TaylorMade is, I would say TaylorMade is probably the straightest path to, TaylorMade and Ping are a very straight path to getting you in a
super
direction.
Linear. Do this, do this, do this. Yeah.
Correct. Cobra it depends on who fits you, but they're all trying to get you the same result. They are very product heavy, meaning like they let the product do the talking. The product will guide the fitting more or less.
Yeah.
They have
and they
way
vibe
more. Yeah. And the vibes are real high.
They vibe it up. Yeah.
Yeah. But at the end of it, I hope you can you become a fan of a certain company. Hopefully through Jake, Jack, myself, Sean Zock, you guys can pick out your character and kind of, now what I would tell all of you, especially with Jake and I, where you're going to get a lot of, where your characters that you're following, you're going to see a lot more from us specifically, and probably Wade. I'll throw Wade in there too, as far as our journey as we go into the summer. And, because there's launches coming, and we're going to have to either buy into whatever the launch is on some of these things or try to fight them off with a bag that we want to defend. Like that's where where the new education is going to come, is like, yes, this driver came in, but this one's good for these reasons, and this is why I'm going to stay where I'm at. So it's going to be sort of a case study in how to fight off new products and how to justify moving out of one good product into another even better product. Because you and I are both guilty of changing for the sake of changing, because the golf clubs just come flying all over the place. So that and third, I hope lastly, I hope you guys had fun watching this. It was a lot of work and it was a lot of fun doing it. And I think where Jake and I kind of sit on it right now is we got it done. It's like almost like making your first movie. We made it. We got it done. We delivered the film. It's not it's our first feature. It's not Ryan Johnson's, Last Jedi. It's not that bad. It's like, but we're gonna continue to move forward. I hated that movie, by the way. Don't get me started.
By the way, how many people loved our Marvel talk on that one episode? That was hilarious.
Did you see really quick? Can we go on just a real quick? So I'm not going to go on. So they have a Doomsday full storyline leak, and I heard it, and I was a little freaked out. Second thing is that there's a YouTube channel called Star Wars Theory, and there's all these AI 9 to 10 minute short films that are coming out about little in the crack parts of Star Wars. Are you watching any of this stuff?
No, I'm.
It's like Luke Skywalker the day after the Battle of Endor. Like, what did he do? And it's like where did he go? And then AI will recreate where he. Dude, it's the fucking coolest thing you've ever seen in your life.
That's pretty sick. Yeah,
we're pretty excited for the Michael Jackson movie that comes out at the end of April.
Yeah, Michael Jackson's sick.
I'm all over that deal.
Peaky Blinders movie comes out. Actually, I think the premiere was. It's this Friday, I think.
Did you watch the whole? Were you a Peaky Blinders guy?
I just finished watching it for the third time.
I have
because I wanted to make sure I was ready.
I have one last season to watch, and I'm
do it quick, dude.
Yeah,
do it quick.
It's pretty sick.
There's a lot that happens in that last season.
Last thing, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a sneak peek into what the next couple of months look like for Fully Equipped, Fully Fit, all that stuff. Obviously, we've kind of covered Fully Fit, but Fully Equipped podcast, we're going to keep. I hope you guys like the format that we are working with right now with just Jake and I kind of nerding out. This is, I think, the funnest version of this is just doing this, is just catching up and, what's going on in the gear world. Hopefully, we're giving you guys enough information, but please be vocal. If there is a topic you want us to cover, let us know. We do have a lot of fun doing the AMAs every couple of weeks. We'll probably do one this week, like a live AMA. We'll be together. So, those seem to do pretty well. The other thing is there is some pretty substantial launches coming this spring and this fall. So this launch season was huge, but we have another pretty big wave coming. There's no secret now that, Titleist's already put out the video. There is something coming from them. It's, if you know how to read a calendar, you kind of understand what it's going to be. But then late summer, we have 3 humongous iron launches from like the big alphas in the industry. All have big irons coming out towards the end of the year. So it's going to be a lot.
There's a very popular putter that's also going to have a new offering. Yes. Some might say it's the most popular putter.
Well, the Tour would.
Yeah. Some might say that.
Yeah. So
some golf tours would say that.
There is a lot more coming, and the way that we've kind of set up how we do content is that it never stops. So we are kind of going with the wind on the launches and stuff, but we have, if we didn't make a video, if we didn't make a video till the end of April, we have enough content basically to post a video every day until the end of April, I think is what it is, or something crazy. Is that what you said? We're like every other day?
Yeah, now it's the middle of May. I keep trying to, organize it. Now it's middle of May. Also, McLaren was just like, yeah, let's do golf. So that was a weird teaser.
I don't want to get.
That was a weird teaser. They were just like, hey, golf. James Robinson, if you're listening to our podcast, I know you're quite excited. Did you know that James Robinson just has a McLaren as his daily driver? Like, that's just his car. Is a McLaren. That's just his car. It's just a McLaren. Yeah, no big deal. Just
off of YouTube. Does he have that big of a channel?
Yeah. James Robinson. I don't know. I've asked him before. I'm like, dude, is that like really like something? What you like? That's what you're. He's like, yeah, it's just my car. I'm like, okay, cool.
I'm not going to say the numbers, but some of the numbers that I've heard from some of these golf YouTube channels that are like 300,000, 400,000, 500,000 subscribers, the numbers, the monthly income,
it's crazy.
I'm just like, holy.
Well, and that's why I started going so long too, because now you can do. I mean, every 8 minutes you get a mid-roll ad, which is more CPM. So if you got a 32-minute video, you get 4 roll ads. plus whatever display comes up, plus your sponsors or the people that are sponsoring the actual content. If you get a big enough following, it adds up pretty quick. I mean, Rick Shields is a multimillionaire, so good for them boys.
What a world. Yeah.
Hell
And
yeah.
the funny thing is, like, you'll hear people say, yeah, but his content's not that, but it's not necessarily, some people
I like
love it.
James. Yeah.
I
What do
like
people have
James
against
too.
James? I like James more than Shields. I'll tell you that.
And
I'll
I
say that out
love,
loud.
and I like him as a human being. He's
Yeah,
great,
James,
but
dude.
I didn't know how
James
big
is
his
the best.
panel was.
Yeah. I
But
had James's first taco with him ever at the lab event. It was the first taco he's ever eaten was at the lab event in Oregon. I have it on
I met
camera. It was
him.
hilarious.
I
He's
met
such a
him at
gem. He's literally like he's such a dude. Like I love James Robinson.
Yeah, I met him, I believe, at a Callaway. This is when I was at WRX, a Callaway launch event.
That makes sense.
I don't know if you remember this. In 2019, Callaway had like an influencer event, and it was like that frisbee dude that got into it with Good. Him and Garrett were partners. It was like
Brody
Dude
Smith.
Five,
Yeah,
bro. Yeah, it was him, Eric Anders
Bro
Lang.
5. Yeah.
Like, it was all those dudes, and then it was like me and Barath from like WRX, and I remember standing in the background going, I don't want to be here. Like, this is not my scene. I'm not,
Yeah.
Can I just go? Can I come back on a day when there's
Yeah.
nobody here? Anyway, that is episode 323 of the Fully Equipped podcast. Jake and I will be together for the rest of the week. Shout out to Bruce Bolt for the partnership and taking care of us for Fully Fit. That was really awesome. So we'll be using their mitts this weekend, and we are about 3.5 weeks away from baseball season, and I am so excited.
Dude, what are your, on a scale of 1 to 10, what is your confidence that the baseball season is actually going to start? Because I think I'm at about a 4.
I'm at about a 7.
Okay.
Do I now? I think the chances of a agreement, because we don't have to get too far into this, because for what it's gonna have to take for baseball to move forward in an amicable way where everybody's happy would mean that the lower teams are going to have big money owners. So that's the whole thing that offsets this, is the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Florida Marlins and all these small market teams are going to have to get bought up by big owners that are willing to spend money. And then those entrepreneurs are going to have to take small markets and make them big markets. Because what the Dodgers did is Dodgers played 4D chess. And the one thing that nobody wants to talk about with the baseball and the Dodgers thing, the Dodgers did whatever they could do to get Ohtani on the team. Ohtani was the key to this whole thing. Getting him, 1, and 2, having somebody that would agree to defer his payment and create a new business model. So they were threading the needle, but the first big get was getting him in a Dodger uniform. Because once they had him, you bring in millions of dollars in Japanese TV money, plus merchandising, plus everything else. So like, apparently he's already paid his contract out, like his third year.
Yeah, they have said that like his entire contract is already paid for.
They broke even.
Yeah, like if something happened and they had to renegotiate the deferment or something, they could just pay him. Like that's an absurd amount of money for a player to bring in, and like that's what, year 3 of a 10-year or 9-year, 9-year 900, 9-year.
No,
right? 700,
10-year, $700 million.
So 10-year?
10-year, $700 million.
Okay.
And he's only collecting $2 million a year.
Yeah, that's so funny.
He's
doubling that though by gambling.
But this is the thing. We'll end here. I swear to God. But this is interesting stuff.
I think so.
The Dodgers out businessed everybody. Yeah. And this is what I hate about our human beings, is now it's like, well, that's not fair, but they're a juggernaut. No, they are a very, very well-run business.
Yeah. Strategic, smart, logical.
Period and a stop. You got Michael Jordan, dude. He outthought you. He outbeat you. He outmanned you. Yeah. You guys, because they were dog shit 7 years ago. Yeah. They were not this.
Yeah. You know what's funny about the Dodgers thing too is, like, I said this a long time ago, like the year, was it Mookie's first year at the Dodgers? There was a year where the Dodgers was just every cool baseball card that you wanted as a kid, all on the same team as 35-year-old dudes. Like, and you just looked at the Dodgers like, what are they doing? And then all of a sudden it was like, they make the playoffs in the wild card, and then they win the division, and then they trade for this guy, and then they trade for this guy, and then their starting lineup is just ridiculous, and then their starting rotation is ridiculous, and then they grab this guy, and then they get every Japanese player who's good at anything in their lives, and it's just like, bang, World Series, World Series, World Series. It's like, what a path, you know? Somebody was thinking. Somebody had it, because they brought in all these guys to get a fan base that was massive, because when you have the lineup that they had in like 2019, like Manny Ramirez was on the Dodgers at one point for just no reason. Like for absolutely no reason.
Hell, Greg Maddux was on the Dodgers for no reason.
Like just for no reason, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, so, but you bring all these guys in, and it's like, you know, guys even my age, like your age, it's like, wow, like that's a cool baseball team. They might suck, but I'm going to watch that baseball team. I'm going
to watch Greg Maddux throw.
And all of a sudden, the money comes in, the jerseys get sold, the tickets get sold, the season tickets come in, you know, all that stuff comes in. And then they spent the money wisely. And now people are mad that they like whitewashed baseball. And that's just not true.
They didn't.
They just, no.
They did not whitewash baseball.
No.
If you were, it's a statement as if you were, so there is a certain resort in Hawaii, and my buddy works there. I'm not going to name what it is. 20 to $50 million houses in Hawaii. Join a club. And he's one of the guys that goes and takes them out, shows them properties, plays golf with them, takes them out surfing. You know, he wines and dines them, and, you know, gets them jazzed about being there. And he's also the guy that starts going through all the financials. This is what it's going to cost for you to own a home here. And this is a third or fourth home for some of these people, and a second home for some. And he starts going through the monthly. So by the time you buy your house and you have this and you join the club and you use the club, and it's going to cost you about $1.5 million a month to run this property. And he goes, the reason I would say that to this number is because if that number scares you, you don't belong here. If that number makes you like this,
yeah,
you don't belong here.
Not for you.
To own a major sports franchise in this age is a big boys game. You got to have big. I don't care if you own the Marlins or the Oakland A's. It is a big money game, and if you want to win, being smart, you have to be smart, and you have to have a shitload of cash. And if you don't want to play in that game, then you need to go find another game. Go invest in something else.
Go buy an NHL team. Yeah.
Or whatever. Just go away. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed whatever that podcast was. We're all over the place, but Jake and I, this is our chance to catch up. This is where we catch up.
That was great. I love that. Yeah. We'll throw a little baseball talk. Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit. We got a little Star Wars in there. We got a little small Avengers shot out. Anyway, 323.
We know what we're doing.
Fully Equipped podcast. We will be back next week. The new podcast comes out next Wednesday, Jake. Next Wednesday.
Hopefully.
We'll see. It's been a wild ride on that one.
Yep.
But thanks for watching. Subscribe. Hit the subscribe link. Comment. All that crap that they say on the YouTube channel. What do they say? Smash the subscribe button. Comment. Share.
Subscribe. Comment. Share.
There you go. I feel like I have to. All the big channels say that at the end of the show. Like,
I know, but it's not.
I'm like, oh no, fuck, I've got to throw it in there.
Like link.
Yeah, links in bio. Link in bio. Anyway, that's it. We're out of here.
All right, bye.